Mark here of In Penny Stock. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, I want to cover a very important type of trading, which is what type of order you should put in. Okay, so if you guys haven't started trading yet, then you might not be familiar with this, but anytime you go to buy a stock from a brokerage platform, say Robinhood, E-Trade, SureTrader, whichever one you're comfortable with, whenever you go to buy a stock, it'll ask you, do you want to put a market order or do you want to put a limit order? And a lot of the times people will just rush in and just do whatever, but it's honestly the most important part of trading, and you can honestly lose out on your entire profits if you don't use the right type of order. Okay, so let me explain the difference and then I'll give you my recommendation on which ones you should implement for successful stock trading. So a market order is basically an order that will throw you into a queue of buying or selling, right? So the stock market, you got to think about how it was before the internet. Before, it was just a trading floor where people would have a desire to buy and people would have a desire to sell, and they would just find matchmakers. They would just try to match each other up. Oh, you want to buy 100? I'm selling 100. Okay, cool. Trade is done. Now we've moved on to electronics, where people around the world, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, are putting in buy orders and sell orders into this electronic delivery market machine. And what's happening is it's doing the same thing. It's trying to match up buyers and sellers and trying to do it in whatever fast fashion it can. So what you might not actually be, aware of is that when you put in an order, you're not automatically getting it, right? If I want to buy Apple at X amount of dollars tomorrow, or right now, if I put the order in, it could take minutes, seconds, hours, days, months to fulfill, actually, depending on how I do it. So if you do a market order, what will happen is after it runs through everybody in the queue, it'll just put you in as the seller's price. So let me give you an example. You're selling stock Apple, okay? Apple is trading, let's say, at 25 cents. If at 25 cents you're putting in a market order to buy 100 shares, but the next person selling, the only person available selling is at 30 cents a share, then you're going to get that. So you thought that you were going to get it for 25 cents. You thought that you were going to buy the stock at 25 cents, and that's why you put in the market order. But because it's a market order, it's going to favor the market, meaning favor the transactions that are trying to be done. And so what will happen in that scenario is it'll meet you at whatever the next closest seller to your demand or your buy order is, which is 25 cents, but they're selling at 30. So you're going to get the stock at their asking price. So you can actually say that could mess up your entire trading plan, right? If you were going to buy at 25, maybe your goal was to sell at 30, but because you chose the wrong order, the market order, you're not able to fulfill that, and you got it at a higher price, and that kills your entire margins. So the second part of the orders that's the market order. The next one is limit orders. That is what I recommend everyone use. That is where you specify a specific price that you're going to buy the stock at, okay? That's what it should always be, right? So if I'm buying this Apple share, I'm doing my trade hypothesis, I got my trade plan, I want to buy it at 25 cents because I'm going to sell it at 30. I put in the limit order for buying 100 shares at 25 cents. Specify it, enter it, and then I'm sitting in the queue. Now what's going to happen is that I'm not going to get my shares until there's actually a seller that is looking to sell it at my price. So I'm not going to be the one that gets, quote unquote, screwed over. Maybe a seller, if they try to sell it at market order, that might be in my favor because it works in reverse too. If the seller is selling it at a market order, it's going to be the buyer that wins. It's going to be the buyer that gets their wish because they're being specific on what they want. Now, the only caveat to that I want to put in is because I know there's going to be people in the comments or, experienced traders that try to come out and say, oh, but I use a market order for this. And let me clarify why. The only time you should use a market order is if you feel that there's not enough volume and you need to get out of the trade ASAP, right? Maybe some catalyst happened, some crazy news happened, and everyone is just rushing out or into the market. I've had times where I literally couldn't type fast enough because the stock price was changing. It was going from $2 to $195 to $190 to $185. Literally couldn't even put in the number fast enough. And you'll see that when you start trading. Sometimes the price moves too fast. And if you don't want to lose all your money, or if you want to be careful and get out of the position, that's when you should do market order, because it'll allow you to very quickly get out. And in that scenario, that's already like an emergency backup plan. That's not something that you should try to plan for. That should only be used in emergencies when the trade is going against you, you've lost all control, and you need to just exit your position and try to minimize the losses as fast as possible. So hope that makes sense. That's the difference between the market order and the limit order, and why I always recommend using the limit order. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.